Hughes. I'm on the advisory board of this great event. I'm also a VC at Revolution. We're a venture capital firm in Washington, D.C. I lead a lot of the fintech work out of our late stage growth fund. So very happy to be here, very excited. And I get to kick off what is our first of the 2 pitch parties today and introduce some of our great companies that are coming from all over the Southeast. Some early, some a little bit later. But we're going to roll through about 10 here this morning. They each have about 5 minutes to pitch, and you give them a round of applause, and then we'll be on to the next one. So, without further ado, we've got Will Mitchell from Contract Simply.
Good morning. My name is Will Mitchell from Contract Simply, and I'm here to get you excited about construction lending. Yes! I'm getting applause. This is fantastic. If you look around Charlotte, it's hard to miss all the construction. You've got cranes over there to the left, cranes over to the right, cranes behind, and it's a huge industry. My background is in real estate development in Washington, D.C., and I studied architecture and structural engineering at the University of Virginia. But what might surprise you about the construction industry is that it suffers from the longest days sales outstanding of any industry in the U.S. So the guys that you see working over there wait a really long time to get paid. And what might surprise you is that 90% of all funding on any of these projects around is coming from a financial institution. And so these financial institutions, on average, take about 10 days to approve a draw request. And so let's talk a little bit about a draw request. I'm going to try not to bore you, but you got to kind of get the basics here. So the idea is, the subcontractor will submit an invoice to the contractor, goes to a developer, goes over to the lender does this big gobbledygook stuff that we'll talk about in a second here, and then finally, once it gets approved, it goes down with the payments. So if we want to focus on what Brian was talking about in the 3 takeaways, you can think about this as approvals, documents, approvals, and payments. And so this complicated process takes that 54 days every month on every project, because a construction loan is different. You don't just issue all the money up front. The bank issues it in tranches as the collateral is being created. And so what does the lender do when they get this draw request? Well, they go through these steps, these 15 steps that we see in almost every institution, whether it's the largest construction lender in the US or a small community bank. And the fact is, about 11 of these tasks can be automated with technology. You can take simple software, to Paul's point, nothing revolutionary, off-the-shelf stuff, and apply it specifically to the vertical of construction to help simplify this process. Allows for the lender to focus exclusively on the high-value tasks, making sure that the invoices that they're approving are actually for work that's complete, making sure that the project isn't going to go over budget, making sure that the inspection report has all the things that they wanted in it. What takes days and weeks to process is down to hours on our system. And so the financial institution is able to get the money out faster, earn additional interest, reduce administrative costs, and overall improve their customer experience. So what are the things that our software does? It automatically processes the documents. So if you send over this massive PDF package with hundreds of pages, it ingests the documents, uses machine learning and all those other buzzwords to process the information, reconcile it, and put it into a digital infrastructure that allows for you to confirm compliance, process the approvals, run reports, figure out the data. I mean, even figuring out how much is being spent in framing would struggle most of the banks in the US. And then last is the payment tracking. So all these funds are going everywhere on these projects. It goes from that lender to the developer to the contractor to all these folks. And the OCC actually recommends that the banks issue the payments directly to the subcontractor, but there's no infrastructure to do that. We're backed by some of the best in the industry. You'll meet Matt Risley here in a minute, who's presenting some of the companies. Y Combinator also backed us. And then on the right side is a bunch of real estate folks, some of the biggest development families in New York. We've been around for 2 years and recently closed our Series A. Been growing rapidly. This also shows a graph with a B on the right side. I didn't even know that was required when presenting. I wish this was revenue, but it's really loans on our platform. We'll hit $1 billion in loans on our platform this year, and this month actually, and we expect to go over 30 billion next year. So we'd love to talk to you about how we can help with your construction lending process. If you're interested at all in construction, come talk to me. Thank you.
Thanks, Will. All right, up next we have McLean Wilson from Charleston-based inFactor. We'll give a round of applause.
My name is McLean Wilson. I'm the CEO and co-founder of inFactor. My background is in alternative finance, which you will see why that is somewhat relevant in a moment, as a factoring company, which I think we just talked about maybe a little bit, and then also as a hedge fund manager in the alternative lending space. And so very excited to launch a hedge fund, raise a bunch of money, but then I realized it's broken. And I don't like that as an investment manager. It's broken for a few different reasons. You can see a lot of big headlines, a lot of things I would not dive into, but there's been a rife of misinformation, a little bit of fraud, lack of transparency, that is not good. And it's all due to how the current loans in this industry are serviced. And so, to that point, the originator of a small business loan or merchant cash advance is also the servicer, is also the underwriter, and that creates a black box of information, and we don't know what leads to that black box, if it's accurate or not. And so there's no, and as you see, the ultimate assets that are originated are sold in securitizations to investors, hopefully not your IRA, and other things like that. But there's a problem here, and it's a very clear problem, and we like to solve problems. Here it is. There's no transactional transparency anywhere to any of the investors, because think about daily pay loans. How can you audit every single transaction, every single day, for a portfolio of hundreds of thousands of loans? It's impossible, physically impossible, and it's very cost intensive. There's no standardized data, which means there's a lack of securitizations, what have been done in this space thus far. There's insufficient due diligence, not a whole lot of KYC, AML checks going on the underlying small business on your street corner. And it's difficult to verify information, and the infrastructure just has not been built currently. And so my background is a recovering engineer. I like to build things, and I like to solve problems. And so we built the infrastructure to solve these problems. As you can see, inFactor, we are a technology-optimized origination servicing platform. So we don't just service, we don't just move money. That's candidly the easy part. We have a partnership, which I'll get into, with SVB, but we start from the beginning. And we do that for a couple of different reasons that has to do with the revenue, which I'll dive into in a minute. But we help the underwriters of these small business loans, whether it's Can Capital, On Deck, it could be Cabbage, those are obviously the big ones out there. We deal with these smaller ones. We help them originate their transactions, we help them pull credit, we help them do a bunch of different things to actually give them their underwriting tools in one location. We then, after they approve a loan, we then go in and help them move all the money, we fund it for them, we collect payments for them. We've got very good partnerships with institutional investors through our previous lives. And then we report information accurately to all parties involved in the entire life cycle of the process. These are some of the integrations that we have included, kind of with our launch, which was a bit ago. You can see some of the more well-known there. We've got a pretty good partnership with SVB to actually move all the capital for us. This is our internal market that we're going after currently. Between myself and co-founder, we came from this industry. We've got a lot of good connections. It's not a small market. We've got one client now, which I'll dive into in a moment, but that first client actually made us profitable as an entity, which is kind of rare. You can see here's our competition. We do all of this. So there are certain segments of the market that do certain pieces. We decided why not just do it all together and make it easy and just be very forward thinking about how we structure the company and integrate with all of our different folks. So competitive advantage, I don't want to say we don't have competition, because we definitely do. It's just scattered competition. And so again, we've taken all these things and we've really put some time, effort, and energy into it in order to build what we feel is the correct product. Here's our company history. We had the idea end of last year. That was the, oh no, we don't want to lose money idea. We need to build something so we don't do that. And then realized, well, there's a greater market for this than ourselves, right? We raised $1 million, friends and family. We've raised $3.5 million thus far. They call it a seed round. It's all friends and family. We hired our CTO, Eric, in Q2. We had an outsourced engineering team working on it to meet the deadline. As you can see, our first client was signed prior to our product being ready. So then we had a very actual and real deadline. And we realized instead of doing it external, we need to come internal and really accelerate and control the build. And we did that. Here's the leadership team. 3 at the top are here. Megan is running the show in Charleston at the moment. And these are our engineers that we have as well. We're expanding rapidly. We're hiring about 1 engineer a month at the moment. Obviously, servicing is one revenue stream. We are as well gathering all the data. We own the data. That is going to be the largest revenue stream that we have. I didn't want to bore you with pro formas because I've never had a correct one thus far, but we do anticipate that being our largest revenue stream down the road. So, thank you all.
Awesome. Now I'd like to welcome to the stage Adrian Becker from Steady.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining me here today at the Southeast Fintech Venture Conference. My name is Adrian Becker, and I'm VP of Strategy at Steady. Now, I'm sure many of you are very familiar with the alarming stats regarding Americans' financial health today. 77 million Americans carry at least one debt collection. Nearly half of Americans do not have enough saved to cover a $400 emergency expense. But at the same time, there's been a shift in the labor landscape as well. More and more individuals are moving from full-time traditional W-2 labor, either by choice or necessity, to more contingent, gig, flexible, part-time type of work. Nearly all new job growth within the past decade has been in this form of labor. 43% of Americans have at least one job or multiple sources of income, and 36% of all U.S. workers have participated in the gig economy in some form or fashion. By 2025, over half of the U.S. workforce will be working as this type of worker, contributing trillions to the U.S. economy. Now, there's wonderful new technology out there today to help people with their personal finances. Tools that help you save, borrow, invest, reduce wasteful expenditures. But none of these are of any consequence to those with an income deficiency. Personal finance is inexorably tied to income. That's why at Steady we take an holistic approach to financial health through this lens of income. Our core function is income discovery. We ask our users about their skills, interests, availability, geography, and other metrics, and then match them with opportunities that best fit that profile. We're partnered with nearly every single gig platform out there and several large national part-time employers. But we never promote one job opportunity over another based on our employer partnerships. It's always what's best for the worker. That's why we want to position ourselves as a champion and advocate for this workforce and address all the pain points that they face from day to day. Whether that's income volatility through our income tracker by giving a clear, concise, comprehensive, and historical view of their income across multiple sources and helping them anticipate those peaks and valleys from month to month in their income. Or the lack of benefits they may face by not being a full-time W-2 worker, by giving them access to products and services such as healthcare, retirement in our benefits marketplace. We do this through strategic partnerships with financial institutions, employers, NGOs, nonprofit agencies who share in our mission of delivering actionable solutions to help increase individuals' top line. We launched back in August. We're based out of Atlanta. To date, this is the end of October. We've actually crossed 300,000 installs right now, 200,000 completed registrations, and have helped people apply for over 250,000 job opportunities within our platform. Our average user skews about 60% female, is in their mid-30s, has an average household income of $45,000, but we have a wide range of individuals who are using our platform, from the college dropout who's looking for ways to service their student debt to the retiree who's using the gig economy to supplement their retirement benefits. Also back in August, we closed our Series A, led by Propel Venture Partners, and also a material stake by impact investors, a mid-year network. And of course, our big shareholder, Shaquille O'Neal, whose mother himself held 4 jobs when he was a child growing up, and who's really bought into our mission, has hosted several focus groups with these type of workers to help them understand their pain points from day to day. So whether it's to soften the impact of a recent job loss, to help build that emergency savings, or just to help make it easier to make ends meet from day to day, Steady's here to help these workers face these new economic and workforce realities. Thank you very much.
It's tough to top Shaq, but we've got a local company here, Core from Amicus, up next here. Everyone, welcome Core.
In 2012, I found myself in a village in Ethiopia, and I want you to meet Lulu here on this picture. See, her smile really melted my heart. In 2014, subsequently, I found myself climbing Kilimanjaro with my daughter Julia. Yes, we did make it to the top. Now, when you go to places like this, it changes you. Now, why is this relevant? This experience that I just described to you is not unique. Every one of you has a story like this. Raise your hand if you contributed to a local or a national or a global service project opportunity and you wondered how you can continue to help. There's no hands going up, but every one of you can identify. So, most of you engage in what I call charity checkbook giving, okay? Some of us give $50 a month, some of us give $500 a month. And you basically, we all do the shuffle at the end of the year from a financial tax administration. You may be supporting your favorite charity through PayPal, Venmo, or Square. Now, make no mistake, the reason why these consumer fintech companies are engaged in a digital giving experience is simply as a values alignment play with the bank's customer. Now, what if the bank was to productize a streamlined digital giving experience? So let's call this financial institution My Bank, and let's say, think of this solution as the equivalent of a bill pay solution. It's easy, it's convenient, you have all your administration in a single place. Let's call it Charity Pay. What this would look like for the My Bank customer is a user interface that looks something like this. It's engaging, it's social media enabled, and allows that customer to share their favorite charity with other customers just like him or her. That leads me to the why of Amicus and our value proposition, which is quite simply to help the bank's customer to give back to community. So how this translates into a product footprint is a charity pay-like solution for the retail consumer bank, a charitable savings account for the emerging affluent or the mass affluent, and a modernized donor-advised fund offering in the context of My Bank's private bank. Okay? The donor-advised fund, for those of you familiar, is actually the fastest growing charitable vehicle in the space. The net, we've built a single platform that goes across each of these divisions of the bank. That leads me to the market opportunity. So the size of the market really represents an opportunity to build a global software category. Okay? The reason why we partner with My Bank is simply because the individuals are the lion's share of the source of that 365 billion that you see displayed on this chart. That's why we partner not only with banks, but also with foundations and with corporations. In terms of deal metrics, by the end of this year, we will close 2 deals with financial institutions and 3 deals with community foundations. Where in terms of pipeline, we're in conversation with 7 of the top 10 national banks. Revenue-wise, we will close at $500K by the end of this year. We're looking to triple that in 19 and in 20. In terms of our timeline, we've been operational since the fall of 17 when we launched with our first customer, GiftClear. In January of this year, we signed with Impact. In May, and I do need to pause here, we announced a partnership with Wells Fargo, which was very significant in the history of the company. Earlier last month, we kicked off projects with one of the top 3 national banks and with the 2nd largest community foundation in Canada. We are planning a Series B next year. So if you are a bank and you're interested in aligning with the values of your customers, I would love to talk to you. If you're an investor and you wish to participate in our Series B, I would love to talk to you. Thank you.
We're actually running on time. Who knew? Our next one here is a company called Paykii, focused on global payments. Fabian, Paykii.
Thank you. Hi everyone, I'm Fabian from Paykii. I'm one of the co-founders. And what is Paykii? We're a global bill payment platform for remittance companies and financial institutions. And I want to establish 4 things before we move on. We are a B2B business model. We are a value-added service. We complement cash. And our focus is to increase the ticket size and increase engagement. Why do we do this? Because we believe that every payment has a story, and our job is that those stories have the right ending. We focus on the remittance space. We focus on the immigrants. And I wanted to ask you, have you ever thought of one activity that you have to do every single month, no matter what? And sometimes it's painful. And I'm not talking about visiting your mother-in-law or any relative. I'm talking about bill payment. It's an activity that we have to do every single month. And we don't think about it because we get the amount we have to pay. We log into our bank account, boom, that's done, 2 minutes. But have you ever thought on an emerging market, on a rural area, how much does it take to do that activity? It can take up to 2 hours just to pay a bill. Why? Let's talk again with the immigrants. So they send money back home. The family goes to one shop to pick up the money, goes out and goes to another shop to pay a bill. And we can put on the top of that the risk of carrying cash and bumping into buying something else and not using the money properly. It's 2018. Why we cannot do something that they can pay bills anywhere, anytime? For that reason, we focus on a 200 million people market and a $600 billion market. And the most interesting part is that 20% of those $600 billion market is used to pay bills. Why not enable these guys, these unknown heroes, the ability to pay bills? How does this work? I'm going to walk you through. So there's Fabian, an immigrant from Mexico that lives in Charlotte, and goes to remittance companies. For this example, let's set up Western Union and choose to pay the electricity bill in Mexico. That transaction between Western Union and the biller in Mexico goes to Paykii. We have built a platform that is easy, adaptable, and can be connected in 2 weeks. What are the benefits for the remittance companies? They can reduce churn. It's a single access point, and as an indirect benefit, they will create peace of mind. They will enable immigrants, these unknown heroes, the ability to control their expenses back home. We have 13 clients, 16 countries. Sorry for the 800 plus countries, that's maybe impossible. But we have more than 800 dealers, and we process more than 100,000 transactions per month. Our platform, it's a real-time payment monitoring. It's been artistically built, and we use AI to generate patterns and understand the immigrant families. Again, we're built to engage. We're creating an engagement tool for financial institutions and remittance companies. We have presence in America and Asia. We're focusing mainly in two targets, the US outbound and the GCC region outbound. With our clients that include Western Union, Zoom, and some other big players, we cover more than 50,000 retail locations and more than 1 million digital users. And by competitors, I don't like to talk about competitors, I like to talk about market evolution. Remittance has been there for 30 years, it's been the same product for 30 years. And we've come here to disrupt and complement, again, we're complementing cash. Why not give the tools for immigrants to pay bills and take care of their families? This is our team. We have an amazing team. We are based, part of the office in DC, part of the office in Mexico. It's a blended of entrepreneurs and industrial seasoned team with more than 60 years of experience going all up. That's Paykii. We are on a bridge fund and targeting Series A by the end of the year. Anyone that wants to know a little bit more, happy to catch up. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Matthew Risley. I'm a partner at QED Ventures, which is East Coast VC, which exclusively focuses on fintech. And I'll be introducing our next batch of great companies for you today. So first off, I'd like to introduce Anuj and Manish, who are from CrediVia. CrediVia is based in Raleigh, so a local company, and they are a CRE marketplace for the hospitality industry. So everyone, please give a big hand.
Thank you. My name is Anuj Mittal, the CEO and co-founder of CrediVia. What is CrediVia? It's essentially a cloud-based commercial real estate loan marketplace that securely connects lenders and hospitality borrowers through a streamlined loan application process. And that is the key differentiator, a streamlined loan origination and application experience. And I'll get to that in a minute, but let me cover the benefits for the borrowers and lenders upfront. For borrowers, they enter all their data in this online platform. They submit their loan to the marketplace, loan request. Multiple lenders view their loan request in a meaningful fashion, and they immediately receive term sheets from multiple lenders so they can compare terms and decide who they're going to go with. For lenders, they're getting targeted leads because it's based on their lending criteria. So they can define geographic region, whatever criteria is loan to cost, loan to values, experience. So they're only looking at deals that matches their criteria, and they immediately can submit the term sheet. They have access to the all the analytics that are important for the lenders, and they can go into underwriting. Hospitality is about $50 billion industry today, and some of you may not believe these statistics, but it takes anywhere from 3 months to up to 12 months to the entire loan application and approval process. Why? Because it's completely manual, it's not standardized, it's information is shared over email, people have tried Dropbox and it doesn't work. It's a very, very manual and clumsy industry. Some other online portals have tried it, but really that's a more loan origination system. CrediVia is loan origination, loan underwriting, loan approval. So it takes you through the entire approval process. And hospitality lending is one of the toughest classes in commercial real estate, and that's what we would add. So essentially that's just a graph. They enter their data, borrowers, lenders look at the deals, they immediately get into checklist, which is very well known in our industry. The borrower is matching the checklist to their documents, and they get into underwriting. So essentially, our goal is to reduce the cycle time to 1 month or less than that. Next couple of opportunity slides will be covered by Manish Bansal. He's one of our board advisory members and also an investor in CrediVia. Manish.
Thanks, Anuj. So Anuj came to me with this idea and concept after, just before these guys launched the company at Finovate in September. And I agreed to come on as a board member, but when I started looking at it, the idea made so much sense to me that I became a significant investor in the firm as well. And as I started helping Anuj and the other members of the team, we started looking at where all can we make a difference. So you've obviously got the lenders and buyers, but we started looking at the larger ecosystem. So there are people that we will, and significant businesses that we will disrupt as we move forward. But is there a way for us to play together with them? And that's what led us to creating this ecosystem, and we've got a lot of these things set up. So if you look, you have the borrowers and lenders, that makes sense. So you've got all different kinds of borrowers. You've got people with just a single hotel property. You've got people with tons of hotels. But on the lender side, this is where it becomes very different than, say, residential mortgage, where you've got large players like Wells Fargo, JP Morgan, and the like. When it comes to hospitality lending, you have smaller borrowers with limited credit boxes and limited windows for them to make loans. So you've got folks like Royal Bank of Missouri, which will write a loan in their area, but they'll only do it for certain months of the year and then they're out. So what the platform allows lenders to do is put their credit box on it, and for the borrowers to actually access that. But then where do you go get these borrowers? You get them from owners associations. So you have the Asian American Hotel Owners Association, which is like an 18,000 people association, and there are lots and lots of folks that come there. You've got the franchises, you've got management companies that actually manage the hotel. So there are a number of folks that we could go to, and we've had a lot of success initially. So we launched the platform in September, and we've already got about $90 million of deals going through. And we've got a significant commitment from a management company to put in another $100 million in 2019. So it's been an interesting experience. In terms of competition, you've got a lot of competition in this space, but it's very different. So you've got the crowdfunding sources, folks who are, typically they are looking at multifamily or office spaces. So these are the folks where you and I could go in and put in a little bit of money, and they'll actually give us the opportunity to be part of a larger asset. And then you have some of the other competition like StackSource and RealAtom. These are online referral sources. So the big differentiator for us is our application is like 20 pages. When we put it all together, we give borrowers an ability to save their information. And some of the others will just collect basic information, pass it on. There are technology lenders and so on. What we feel good about is we are in a space where there's a lot of opportunity. You can take hotel lending and then you can grow it to multifamily and office and the other portions of the CRE market. We're well placed. We've got transactions going. We feel good about it. We're self-funded right now, and probably will be for some period of time, but we'd love to get help on the alliances side. So come talk to us. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to present our next pitch, which is from GoodWorld. So Dale from GoodWorld will be talking about their innovative and frictionless solution to make donations to good causes, and they are a Washington, D.C. based company. So everybody give a welcome to Dale.
Thank you so much, Matt, and it's wonderful to be here. My name is Dale Pfeiffer. I'm the founder and CEO of GoodWorld, and we make payments frictionless on social media. Might help if my presentation comes up. So like many of you, when I wake up in the morning, one of the first things I do is I grab my phone. I check my email, and then I very quickly find myself on social media. And I'm scrolling through my feed, I see posts from my friends, favorite brands, and I often see content that makes me want to take action. Content that often hits me in the heart, and so the wallet, is charitable. For example, this post here from the Syrian refugee crisis. So I see the post, I see that there's a clear need for my house, and I want to take action, so what do? Before GoodWorld, I would have had to go off onto Google, find the charity, go to their donation page, fill in a long form, get out my credit card, insert my credit card to give. Multiple steps, multiple minutes, far from frictionless payments. Now with GoodWorld, all I have to do is comment, hashtag donate and a dollar amount, and our algorithm, it does the rest. It really is that simple. And we've developed payments on Twitter that's as easy as paying for something through retweeting, and our payments technology on Instagram, you swipe up to pay for a donation. So why is this so important? This is so important because these days your customers live on mobile and they live on social. Nearly a third of all time spent on the internet now is spent on social media, with teens spending up to 8 hours a day on their favorite social media platforms. 8 hours a day. Perhaps even more relevant is now that 3/4 of all purchase decisions are inspired in some way by social media, but there's a huge cart abandonment problem to the tune of nearly $2 million. Why is that? It's because that people, when they're inspired, they want to transact at the moment. They don't want to leave their favorite social media platform. They don't even want to leave their newsfeed, and they certainly don't want to get out their credit card. They certainly don't want to get out their credit card. So GoodWorld helps charities, merchants, and banks capture the next generation of customer by keeping them on those social media platforms. And the opportunity for this is huge. The opportunity is huge. We went to market in the charitable giving vertical, which is a huge vertical in itself, but our technology is now customized, and we're starting to also do digital payments in the commerce field. We have over 3,000 partners and growing, including over 3,500 charities. We have strategic partnerships with both MasterCard and PayPal, and I'm very excited to announce that MasterCard just made a strategic investment of $750,000 in our company in a strategic round. And we have some of the best names in FinTech VC, including Nike Partners, who's run by the ex-president of Visa. So what we did is we did a beta period where we built the technology. It was an organic growth phase. We onboarded the charity partners, and we refined and built our technology to have for very high conversions. And now we're locking arms with these strategic corporates to go to market and really accelerate our growth. Sorry, the slides are a bit mixed up. We have a fantastic team. We're obviously a woman-founded and run company. My co-founder, John Gossett, was 23 years service in the military, so we're also vet-founded. And our CTO, Tama Pugsley, is an incredible architect. He's won 2 Webby Awards and been nominated for 5, and he's done a lot of bank and security. So we've actually just closed a strategic round, but we're really interested in talking with people. We have also developed a series of technology that helps banks make their customers more charitable, and also love to talk to people who are interested in getting to know us for our Series A, which we intend to raise later this year or next year. Next year. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, I would like to introduce Amicus from Trill.AI. Trill is a company which provides AI and machine learning to long-term asset managers. So everybody welcome
My name is Akash Ganapathy, and I'm the founder of Trill.AI. And I'm here to ask you to stop wasting time with data. Please. That's the important part. We are a machine learning platform for data analysis for specifically investment management. Now, the investment management space has a lot of industry challenges. I'm going to talk about 2 of them. One, there's too much data to look at. There's a need to analyze it and strategize on that data for actual portfolio decisions. And the sufficient talent to get through all of this data in the long-term space is very, very expensive. Analysts can cost up to $1 million a year to actually be an expert in their field. And the second problem is index funds are too cheap. We've all heard about this. And what the result is that fee compression is racing to the bottom. And this is actually affecting operations and sales, which is unacceptable. So how do we fit into this paradigm? The investment process is a very complex process. I'm going to break it down in a simple way. There's updating the investment strategy, reporting to clients and executing changes to the strategy, and monitoring performance and the market. These are the parts of the investment process that are related to making money. You're talking to clients, you're telling them how they're doing, you're making decisions, you're actually making money. Then there's the cost sink over here. This is where you lose a lot of money. There's ingesting all the new data streams that are available, all of these alternative data sets. There's cleaning and transforming this data, visualizing it, actually trying to find analysis and developing machine learning models or other quantitative financial models to assist your process. This can take an indefinite amount of time, and we're here to essentially streamline that with automation and AI. Let's talk about a bit more about our company. We were founded in 2014 and 2015 as a deep learning platform for investment management. In 2016, we did technology and MVP validation with leading New York financial institutions. In 2017, we had pilot deployments and raised $2 million in a Series Seed 1. And in 2018, we now have multiple paying customers that are very scrutinizing quantitative hedge funds in New York and discretionary hedge funds in San Francisco. And we have a patent pending on our technology. We are an NVIDIA Inception Program partner, meaning that we do real deep learning and real AI. It's not a buzzword. And we are also partnered with FactSet for our data providing. Our mission is to create AI that improves long-term investment for the general audience, and also to integrate human understanding into that AI process. Our patent revolves around that, actually qualitative analysis using AI, not just quantitative number crunching. We have an industry-leading board of directors and advisors. Eric Friedman is the CIO of US Bank. Vincent Knitzer is a professor of AI and economics at Duke. Tom Looney is the former general manager at Lenovo. And Kevin Madden is the managing director at Raymond James. Somehow my slide did not get preserved. We have a lot of capabilities. We can do sector and security allocation, company financial projections, news and market sentiment, and we can do this for US equities and funds, global and emerging equities. And this kind of breadth would normally take a team of 100 analysts. We have a team of 12 people that are doing this using AI, and we support some of the most scrutinizing hedge funds today. Our hedge fund total collective AUM of our customers is above $20 billion. We are developing human AI systems, and this is a quick example. No one's going to be able to read this in the time I have remaining to present this to you, but everyone can see sentiment at a glance. This is a 2-to-1 positive earnings call blurb on health equity. And you can immediately jump to the most positive sentences and the most negative sentence in the article. This saves time. This is confidence and prioritization. Think of the amount of language that people need to get through on a daily basis as part of their analysis jobs. This is essentially how we're going to revolutionize that. We have some funding objectives. We're looking to raise $5 million to scale deployments and drive growth. This is revolving primarily around growing revenue. We're looking to build awareness. We're looking to expand our capabilities, of course. And we're targeting key strategic partnerships and relationships while we're here today. So if you are interested in meeting with me at all, I will be in the hospitality area around anything. Even if it's just I'm interested in AI, I'd love to tell you about it. Thank you for your time, and again, please stop wasting it.
Great. Next up, we have David Stedman from BrightDime. BrightDime is a Charlotte-based company which is tackling the very hot topic of financial wellness, working with the lawyers to do so. So can I introduce David Stedman?
Thank you. Okay, I am David Stedman. I am CEO of BrightDime. BrightDime is a financial wellness company, and it's not loading yet, so there we go. Thank you. We're a financial wellness company. Today in America has a financial wellness problem. 63% can't afford a $500 emergency. 1 in 3 have saved nothing for retirement. Nearly a quarter of salary goes to repaying debt. The student loan problems we've heard about a lot. There are also a lot of mental issues that go with the crisis we have in America with financial wellness. 1 in 4 have PTSD-like symptoms due to financial stress. 78% feel financially insecure. 53% are anxious about money. It's a problem. Now, here's the good news. The good news is corporations are willing to pay to solve that problem. They're paying for it as a employee benefit that they're offering their employees, financial wellness. It is the fastest growing benefit in the market today. Prudential did a survey that said the financial wellness industry rose 83% over the last 2 years. So we got a problem in the market, but we got corporations that are willing to solve that problem. The solution they're looking to are companies like BrightDime. BrightDime is the only fully digital financial wellness solution that's in the market. We provide a platform that where we offer aggregation of everybody's account. We offer coaching as well as education for the employee. So I'm going to go in a little deeper on our platform. You can see that we have budgeting tools. We break down spending and show employees how they can save money. We help them build net worth. One of the most important things we have is goal tracking. It engages employees and motivates employees to make their life more financially well. When we find holes in the employee's financial world, we use education to teach them and show them ways that they can plug those holes and make their path to financial wellness a lot smoother. But the most important thing that we offer is one-on-one coaching. And we do this, all of this, the education, the tools, all this through the platform, and the coaching is also done through the platform. It is a live coach on the other side that the employee can chat with anytime they want. And the cool thing about it, it personalizes the user experience better than face-to-face, better than getting on the call, because the coach can have all this information on the employee so that the coach can make their coaching relevant for that specific employee. Let me give you back up a little bit and give you background on BrightDime and where we came from. So my history is I was on Wall Street. I worked for Goldman Sachs in New York, Barclays Capital in London. I founded and ran a hedge fund for 12 years. And over that 20-year period, I realized the people that needed the help the most were the very people that have no access to tools, no access to coaching. So I closed the hedge fund, and I made it my mission to help these people. So the first 2 years was doing research and building out the platform that I showed you. In 2016, we went fully operational and had our first enterprise clients, and that's when we really knew we had something. The clients loved it, so we went out and we raised a seed capital of $1.7 million in 2017. Had 100% growth that year. In 2018, we had 350% growth. We have over 25 clients, and we have 8 channel partners. Our most important channel partner currently is a company called Benefit Focus. They are a benefits admin platform, and they have over 25 million people using their platform. And they chose us to be their financial wellness provider. It's a big deal for us. In 2019, we want to accelerate this growth. And so we're looking to raise about $5 million to help accelerate the growth, so build out our sales team, build out our marketing team, and also we are also currently in the planning stages for BrightDime 2.0, so to further develop the product. You can see that we have already have a lot of customers. I just wanted to show you a few that we have to make sure you knew that, hey, these guys really are legitimate. They know what they're doing. What I want you to take from this is we got a very hot industry. We've got companies that are willing to pay for this solution, and we think we have a best-in-class product. If you want to talk to us about investing in this Series A round, please come find me, or you can email me at david.stedman@brightdime.com. It's always a bright day at BrightDime. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you. So next we have Daniel Goldman from a Atlanta-based company called Ternio. And what would a fintech conference in 2018 be without a blockchain company? So everybody give a warm round of applause for Daniel.
Thanks to Barings for hosting. So my name is Daniel Goldman. I'm CEO and co-founder of Ternio. We're based out of Atlanta, Alpharetta specifically, if you know it, a big fintech hub. Our mission is focused around scalable blockchain architecture. And I can tell you right now, it's sort of an interesting time around blockchain because frankly, there's a lot of discussion about it, but a lot of people who don't really understand it, or even if they understand it, they can't figure out a proper use case for it. So we're very excited about sort of the emerging technology of it. So this is one quote from Glenn Hutchins, co-founder of Silver Lake Partners. If blockchain takes off, one of these will be Google, one of these will be Amazon, one of these will be Yahoo. We view ourselves as to blockchain what Amazon is to online books. We're focused on digital advertising as our first vertical, which is frankly the most challenging from a scaling perspective, because if anyone you talk to about blockchain, they say, well, it can't scale. Well, we actually, that's why we call it our patent. So if we can dominate the digital advertising space the way we think we will, then that same technology can be applicable in so many different kinds of industries, whether it be fintech, government, healthcare, oil and gas, you name it. So what we built is our Lexon blockchain, which, as I said, is useful for many different industries. When I went to Gartner World Summit, I found so many different industries were so interested in it. In fact, it's actually the #1 search term on Gartner's website. But once again, it's so early as an emerging technology, people are really struggling to figure out the proper use case. And we think we've figured out a really excellent use case in digital advertising. Now, as I said, for those of you who may or may not know, because it's a decentralized technology, a distributed ledger technology, the big problem with blockchain is that it typically is very slow, whether it be a public or a permissioned blockchain. What we have is built a patent-pending technology that allows for either be any type of blockchain, private or like Hyperledger Fabric, or even in theory, Ethereum, where we can take that blockchain, we can actually create strands of blockchains, blockchain number 1, blockchain number 2, times infinity, that will allow us to then scale it to millions and millions of transactions per second in a way that presently no existing blockchain technology does. In fact, not even IBM is able to do what we presently can do. And they're not even trying to compete directly with us because they acknowledge that what we're trying to do, they just don't have the technology for. So here are the companies that we have an NDA with, we have a contract with, or frankly, we're planning some kind of pilot or working with. There is a lot of interest in the digital advertising space. And if you think about the digital advertising space, all of the largest companies in the world / at least the country are all playing in the space. Verizon made a big play in digital advertising. Google and Facebook are well known. AT&T just got there. Accenture's in it. IBM's in it. WPP in its own right is a huge company. This is a very big industry, and there's going to be a lot of winners and a lot of losers based on what we're going to do, frankly. There are a lot of people in this space that don't want us to be successful because we're going to save advertisers a lot of money, and we are going to completely disintermediate this entire industry. So blockchain as a service is estimated to be, by Gartner, $3.1 trillion in value to businesses by 2030. Where we're playing in our space is on enterprise blockchain technology. Because for all of the benefits that it does, if you can't scale it, as I said, it really isn't applicable in a use case. So we can actually help the companies who are, whether it be government, healthcare, whatever these larger companies are trying to do, we can actually take this technology and allow it to be used in a proper application. Companies like Oracle or SAP have a little bit of a challenge because the core, as I've been told, the core benefit of their technology, their databases. And so what blockchain is a distributed database. So there is an interesting sort of question mark as to what is blockchain going to do down the road in that industry towards Oracle's core business and others like it. Now, in digital advertising specifically, it's a $273 billion industry today globally. It's projected to be a $1 trillion industry by 2028. So from the standpoint of, is it a big enough industry to play in? The answer is definitely yes. Now, the founders, myself, Ian, Brian, and we have Keith Johnson, who's not a founder. We came from Comcast. We have a team of 10. Most of them are based in Atlanta. We've got a couple here in Charlotte. And we have an excellent team, people from MIT, NSA, Turner, former Bank of America. I was vice president for a Fortune 500 company prior to starting this company. So we have a lot of really talented people on our team. I'm probably the least talented. Now, in terms of what we're raising, we're trying to raise $10 million. We're selling 20% equity for our company. For companies that are, for people who are serious or interested in us, we are obviously, we're negotiable on that. But where we are right now is sort of at the beginning point. We're sort of at the precipice of greatness. And That's me, that's last. So, thank you.
Last but not least, I'd like to introduce Henry Yoshida from Rocket Dollar. Rocket Dollar provides access to alternative investing. So with that, please, Henry. Thank you. Thank you. So last spot in between lunch in my presentation. So my name is Henry Yoshida, as Matt mentioned. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Rocket Dollar. We're based in Austin, Texas. We have 10 full-time employees. This is the third business I've started and the second in the fintech space, all in retirement, which is a space in the financial services industry I've worked in since the year 2000. We're on the cusp of the largest wealth transfer in history. By 2030, millennials will hold close to $20 trillion in assets. Decided that you have to step the B's up to the T from the presentation earlier. Making millennials the richest generation in history. Now, in this process, we're going to have to completely rethink the way we approach investing. Why, you may ask? Traditional investing is all but dead. The days of 60-40, set it and forget it investing have given way to an explosion of new investment platforms and choice. In addition, regulators want and are making efforts to make access to private investments more available to Main Street folks. Millions of people are already investing in cool alternative assets. My Lyft driver in Denver, Seth, invested $23,000 in crypto and crushed it. Tanya purchased an investment rental property, and Max invested in his friend Jeremy and Russell's new business with a funny name, Yelp. So what's the problem? Taxes on great, good, and ridiculously awesome investments suck. That is unless you're Max, and you made your investment using a self-directed Roth IRA. Now, legendary tech founder Mark Benioff once famously declared no software. At Rocket Dollar, we're here today to declare no taxes. At Rocket Dollar, we let people utilize an account structure that's existed for decades, so millions of people, including all of you, can invest in cool alternative assets as well. At RocketDollar.com, and we're open for business right now, customers can sign up for an account in minutes. We capture the information required to open the appropriate account type for you, maximized to what's a fit from a tax standpoint based on your income situation. From there, you transfer contribute funds, known as the ubiquitous rollover or transfer contribution. And then from there, here's the interesting part. You can move money into the alternative investment of your choice just as easily as initiating an ACH or using a debit card. Our pricing, again, we're open for business, so one of my asks is for all of you to potentially look at the site and learn more about our product. It's simple, competitive, and transparent. We charge $360 to sign up, a one-time fee, and $15 a month to maintain, much less than you'd otherwise lose to taxes making the same investment in a taxable account. We have a direct-to-consumer strategy via website and soon our mobile app. We've made diligent efforts to become a content strategy leader in the retirement space. We also have investment pros who have shown overwhelming interest in working with us too. We allow our partners, real estate and financial, to basically create customizable self-service fact sheets and turnkey microsites for them to help raise money on their platform. And then, now picture the ubiquitous PayPal button that you guys know from every e-commerce site over the last 15 to 20 years now. Today, we launched the Rocket Dollar API, the PayPal button for digital investment platforms to help any of you that are raising funds get more money faster. We have a great team and recently launched our product. But more importantly, I think for this particular audience at the Southeast Fintech Venture Conference, we've made compliance a core focus, and we're one of the earliest stage companies to ever complete an AICPA SOC 2 Type 1 audit. Now remember Tanya, who made the investment in the real estate property? She feels great because she pays no taxes, but more importantly, she funded her Rocket Dollar account to buy this property with funds from an old IRA. She feels great about her investment, but more importantly, her investment also now provides a home for Ruben and his family in San Antonio, her hometown. At Rocket Dollar, our goal is to connect trillions of dollars held by millions of investors to 21st century investments with no taxes under the future of retirement. Thank you. Well, that concludes this morning's pitch section. So I think we're on to lunch now. Lunch is served in the other room. So thank you all very much.